Should we giving the opening?
Okay, so how can I sum up the India versus New Zealand series that's going to happen tomorrow?
You want to sum it up already?
Yes,
Okay.
because the T20 series is irrelevant. You know why I'm saying it is irrelevant? Look at the questions that were asked to Kane Williamson. Are you saddened that Sunrisers Hyderabad dropped you from the team? They have kept you out, they have not retained you. Kane Williamson had a very pragmatic, nonchalant answer.
Yeah.
You see, that is still the aim. IPL teams dropping you gain a lot more precedence than a bilateral tour between two nations. But the same can't be said for New Zealand. Why? Because the landscape is changing. Trent Bolt is no longer on a central contract.
Yeah.
James Neesham is not on a central contract. Colin de Grandhomme retired only to pursue T20 leagues. So, this is the future we are staring at. After the end of the T20 World Cup, when the dust has settled, you're looking at yet another irrelevant series in the context of the broader cricketing world. I can understand the Australia-England ODIs. Because ODIs will be your key in the next 1 year. I can understand the New Zealand-India ODI series that will start from 25th onwards. But I can't understand the T20 series. Why? Second consecutive series. Remember, after the October 2021 T20 World Cup, who did India play at home?
New Zealand.
But that was touted as revenge for what happened in the...
See, you can't move forward with that sentiment of revenge anymore. We see that this Indian team, and not just for this Indian team, you could say this for other teams as well, that the performances in the bilaterals doesn't really translate to a whole lot of success in tournaments that really matter.
Yep.
So to say that, yes, of course, as fans, we will still tune in. We'd support our country. We'll watch the players. We'll want to watch
although
what lies ahead.
Mixed loyalties for me though. I mean,
Yeah, you do sort of feel, for the lack of a better word, betrayed, because Cristiano Ronaldo felt betrayed yesterday or day before when that interview broke.
I mean, look,
But yes, we felt betrayed as a nation as well for a while. But again, it's
betrayed.
Again you
hurts. You are hurt. There's something betrayed about it.
You were let down.
That's a much better word.
A better word.
That is a much better word.
So
because look, against this series, if you have to look at it in a whole, this thing comes in the backdrop of the post-mortem of India's World Cup still being discussed at this point in time. It has just been 8 days. November 10th, 2022 was the time when India were dumped out of the World Cup in very comprehensive circumstances.
Yes.
You still don't know what has happened because there are still postmortems being done. Today, VVS Lakshman, Ravi Shastri, Zaheer Khan, 3 stalwarts of the Indian cricket team in different eras, or 2 of them of the same
generation, yes,
have given some very, very valid, or you may say contextual statements regarding the future of the Indian cricket team and how they should go about it.
True.
Although, when we get to VVS Lakshman's PC, I can just say one thing. Old wine in a new bottle. That was the quotes that VVS Lakshman used. I mean, look, we have to be aggressive, but we also have to play according to the conditions. That's true.
Yeah.
But didn't Rohit Sharma and the Rahul Dravid era say that we have to be in a par plus total? And didn't they also mention that we have to bat sensibly and according to the conditions? So this is just crisper wording in a new bottle. Much like how the digital landscape is in India at this point in time. And
true.
The talk about template is very much overhyped. There is no template. England showed us. I had mentioned that day also.
But you spoke of England and their template. Let's just build up to now the issue at hand.
Okay, so what is the real issue that we are going to discuss here? This came on the backdrop of Ravi Shastri and Zaheer Khan
yes.
answering some questions to the media.
Ahead of the
India versus New Zealand series, and one of the questions that we found, which are it's a big
well, interesting bits, and when you said England and template, one of the things that Ravi Shastri has said is that this Indian team can identify match winners and follow the template that England has shown to the entire world.
But yet again, what is the template?
What is the template?
Where was the template?
That template, by the way, didn't work for England in the final.
It did not work in the whole World Cup. Australia, the world.
Even then, they were the highest scoring team in power plays. But England.
But they played smart cricket.
They played
Smartness can't be a template.
Smartness cannot. That is expected out of you.
Yes.
If you're playing any sport, yes, there are spells you play on the front foot in a test match. You can't just be gung ho unless you're playing baseball. But
again, baseball is sensible cricket.
Exactly. You need to know when. So all those pies cannot belong to you in a session, right? In a test match, all those pies cannot belong to you. You will dominate on day one. Let's say the first two sessions, the third might go to the opposition.
Yes.
Likewise, in the T20 as well, the different spells. There are different phases in a T20.
Yeah.
And yes, you will take some. You will give away some. But chalo, anyway, we will now get talking about the IPL. Yes, we had the retentions which came out a couple of days back. You saw the coverage here at Sports Today. And now as we build up to, let's say, the mini auction as well, which will take place on the 23rd of December. One of the interesting things that is now being talked about is whether these Indian players need exposure from foreign T20 leagues. And two of India's brightest cricketing minds, if one can say, Zaheer Khan and Ravi Shastri, who was just your coach a couple of months back, have now given their thoughts. Sid, you want to talk our family members?
Yeah, family members, I'll just say this. The foreign T20 league conundrum has suddenly been come about when Rahul Dravid was asked this question in the aftermath of the England loss. Now, what happened in that is, Rahul Dravid said it would be the end of our domestic structure. It would result in our test cricket being affected if players were allowed to go into T20 leagues.
Yes.
Foreign, that is. Ravi Shastri.
But he also said that the decision lies with the BCCI.
Even Ravi Shastri, who's very much familiar with the machinations of the BCCI, because he's been there as player, coach, administrator. He's done it all. He's saying, okay, they are absolutely fine playing IPL cricket and focusing on domestic cricket. We need them to play domestic cricket in India as well. So Shastri has rubbished the thought that Indian players should go on foreign leagues.
Yes. He's also made a couple of other comments as well, and we'll show you those comments as well. So then he goes on to say that all these players to get absorbed in the system and get enough opportunity, that's what the domestic cricket circuit does.
Yes.
So there's ample cricket in India. That's what both Zach and Ravi Shastri have said. I think there's one more quote though that we can tell you over here.
Shiva, if you can get to that other comment.
Yes, the next what Ravi Shastri
Plus, you get these India A tours. You get a lot of these other tours where at one given time you might have two Indian teams playing in the future.
Okay. So then.
Okay. Now
you know what Ravi Shastri has said today. In not mincing any words at all, no grey areas in his speech.
Yeah.
Like mostly is the case whenever he's talking. So no need for foreign T20 leagues.
Okay.
So Alex Hales being the highest scorer in the BBL, getting exposure over here in the IPL, all of this doesn't really matter then. What matters?
I have two issues, two very big issues in this argument.
Okay.
Number one, can we go to the first slide, Shivam, if we can? First slide. Yeah.
Yes.
Focusing on domestic cricket, we need them to play domestic cricket in India as well. Okay, trivia question to all our family members. When was the last time Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, KL Rahul all played for their domestic sides? Which I mean Delhi, Mumbai and Karnataka in the Ranji Trophy, Vijay Hazare or Syed Mushtaq Ali.
Matt. Yeah.
When was the last time these players played? You are talking about resting in bilateral series. This is international bilateral tours. And yet you are giving a platform that they want to play domestic cricket in India. When? When did our current crop, Jasprit Bumrah, after his India debut, when did he play a single season?
Yeah.
In the Syed Mushtaq Ali, in the Vijay Hazare, in the Devdar, or in the Ranji?
One of the things you've got to look at here is, were there times that they could have and they chose not to? Because
Second point, they chose not to because already the calendar is so cramped.
Exactly the point then. Then you need to decide whether you want to flood the calendar with international games, or which has been the scene for a good couple of years now, hardly any breathing room. So much so that now coaching staff also needs a break, which is an issue we did here on Sports Today. Dugout did talk about with you yesterday. In case you didn't watch it or you couldn't tune in, do see yesterday's discussion as well. But
this whole argument that we need players for the domestic cricket in India is absolutely warped. First, you're not going to get your senior players to play. You can forget about it. Second, if they play, aren't you destroying the chances of a youngster? Suddenly, 6-7 years, you don't play your domestic cricket. All of a sudden, he says, okay, I want to serve my country, I want to serve my state,
domestic board.
I want to go serve my domestic
State
board. Look, even Sachin Tendulkar, towards the fag end of his career,
no, but my question
played
here
only
is,
2 or 3 seasons.
Is this proposition possible?
It can't be possible. Because, as you said, Alex Hales dominating in the BBL, also getting experience kind of in the IPL. Johnny Bairstow, IPL experience.
It's working
also
for them.
plays.
It's working very well.
But however, he can make those statements and get away with it. Why? The ODI World Cup is going to be played in India. Conditions will suit India a lot more. They haven't lost a bilateral series or any of
All
that
year long.
since 2019.
Yeah.
You've won on a consistent basis in India. So all these statements...
Apart from that one drawn series against South Africa, which ended 2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apart from that, ODIs, you won against Australia, you won the T20 against Australia. Test matches, you've not lost the series since 2012. You dominated in India, and that is the trend. Home domination will continue.
Yeah.
2011 India won, 2015 Australia won, 2019 England won.
See, that's been a trend, and of course, India would want to back themselves in next year's World Cup. It's a nation which is devoid of international glory or an ICC trophy, yes, for quite some time now.
All the players who are now in England, or in New Zealand,
Yeah.
will they have gotten much more preference playing Syed Mushtaq Ali or Vijay Hazare or playing in New Zealand? None of the above. You got Umran Malik there, you got Sanju Samson over there, you got other players who are, Yash Dayal, for example, has been chosen for the Bangladesh series. But when they are there, they're not playing domestic cricket. They're just there as net bowlers. You are just there to gain exposure, and from what? Arzan Nagwaswala. Remember that name, a left-arm pacer? He took 5 wickets for Gujarat. He was picked as a net bowler for the ICC World Test Championship final. Southampton he went. Where is he now? I just want to ask that question, where is he now? Your exposure, you are carrying so many people to the Indian setup that you're not benefiting from them.
So you're saying this is a case of more supply than demand?
As I had said, after the loss to England, you've got so many players. Like, I agree with that one point which he made in the last slide. He said there will be 2 or 3 Indian teams.
Yes, that is it. Yes,
that's true.
In fact, one of the other things, and you're somewhere inching closer to one of the other comments that he said about split captaincy. He also said that yes, because there's so much cricket happening, Zaheer Khan said that split captaincy is already, India's already witnessing split captaincy. You got a Pant who's captain, you got a Hardik who's captaining this series. Pant is his deputy.
You've got multiple split captaincy. That's the problem. Multiple split captaincy. When that means, see what will happen. A different player gives a different dynamic. A different player, different set of leadership and different set of outlook. When you have one leader, too many leaders often spoil the team composition. It's like, for example,
here also is and sort of comes from what Ravi Shastri said today.
Yeah.
With your coach, your head coach taking a break and multiple breaks at that, and your main captain also being away, when these young players do come into the system, they don't know the philosophy of the head coach and the actual captain.
Yep.
Right now, Hardik Pandya is only a stand-in captain.
Yes.
Rohit Sharma continues to be the actual captain of the team.
Okay. Main question. Australia. How many times did they change their captains even at the height of their rotation? How many times? Hardly any. Hardly any captaincy changes. Clark was the captain. Steve Waugh remained the captain. Ricky Ponting remained the white ball captain. Yes. Ricky Ponting then became all formats.
No, one thing we've got to see is, yes, these are changing times. We're seeing more. There's an additional format. You talk about Ponting, yes, of course, he was in the twilight of his career when the T20, there weren't any T20 leagues around that time. So today's game has different demands. It requires players to have different fitness levels, and yes, perhaps that we are again back to the same topic that yes, perhaps players will also have to pick and choose what format they want to play, or the board will have to tell certain players very clearly that listen, you're in the scheme of things for Test cricket. I have a pool of 15 players for Test cricket. I have a pool of about 17-18 players for T20, and many of them can play ODI as well. But you need to identify, and that's what Ravi Shastri also said. You have enough talent in India, but you will perhaps need this segregation. That's what England did after 2015.
I had always said, you can roll back the tape even 6-7 months prior, the BCCI's main thing after 2021 will be player management and how they rotate their players.
The rotation happened.
They failed on both counts.
No, the rotation definitely happened. The management is something you can question because of the way they manage Jasprit Bumrah. Rushed him in. You don't know if we do have adequate facilities. He went through surgery. He spent enough time at the NCA, but the way that injury came back to haunt him again, and the Indian bowling.
But again, the NCA with their dodgy record of, you may say, managing players' injuries is really, really a big problem.
But again, if you're a cricketing giant, you expect not to flounder on these counts.
Well, but it has happened.
Yes.
It's happened, and that is why, if you look at it, most of our family members in here are asking us about the IPL.
Yes.
That's the problem. If India loses the next World Cup also, then we have to blame these kind of sentiments. Because, look, you are looking for a road ahead. The problem with overseas leagues also now, that's a major issue. Okay. Ben Stokes, your man of the final, how many leagues did he play?
You're talking in the year gone by, in the build-up to the World Cup.
He didn't play in any.
Yes, he was very clear.
Big Bash League.
He didn't, he withdrew.
IPL, he withdrew. Josh Butler played limited amounts.
Yes.
Limited amounts. You have to play leagues based on what is your availability. See, Trent Bolt opted out of a central contract. Only then he's made available to play in the leagues.
Yes.
But in India, you can't do that.
You can't.
Because the IPL is a 3-month window.
Yeah.
Which other league gives you that flexibility? Which other league has such a big window? Australia's BBL has 1 month. 1.5 if you want to extend. Even the Caribbean Premier League has about a month and a half.
About 40 days.
40 days.
40 days, yeah.
Same in the ILT20 and the SA20, which is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, 3 months from...
What is the Vitality Blast?
The Vitality Blast also a month and a half. Because it begins from about August, ends at around July end, it ends at around September or August. See, there in August you'll have the final, semi-final all on the same day. That's a big issue. Yeah. So that is why 3-month IPL. And you want players to be available even for domestic cricket. Who are we trying to fool around here? It's just not happening. Just not happening.
So
the overseas league is a problem. Why? When is the next T20 ODI World Cup?
In about 10 months' time.
No, where?
India.
Do we need to go up overseas? Already most of the players are coming here.
But then the question is, do you want to take one tournament at a time, not think about 24 at all? Just keep your eyes, put those blinkers on and just focus on the upcoming ICC tournament, which is your 50 over format now, 50 over World Cup.
What did Pat Cummins say? There is something very relevant in what Pat Cummins stated. Cummins said, I don't mind playing in the IPL. It's a treat, it's an honor. But if I have to look at the schedule and I look at the broader picture, I may have to skip it. The same holds true for Mitchell Starc as well. If Australia duty is beckon, Australia duty is primary.
Yeah.
IPL may not be the thing in that sense. So, the problem is, where are you going to fill that void? T20 leagues, I definitely agree, it is not the solution, can't be the solution. Where is the solution then? It lies.
But see, if now there's a counter argument here as well when you talk about these T20 leagues. Of course, there's only 11 players that you can play, because we've also touched upon how India need to play with their core more often. And we didn't do that in the build up to this year's World Cup, and we saw what happened. So, if at all India has to take that approach wherein, yes, alright, you tell yourself or the BCCI decide that, okay, we're going to move forward with a bunch of these 14, 15 players and we're going to build a team around them, and that's going to be my team for, let's say, the T20 World Cup in 24. What about the players who are not in the scheme of things? You want to have a backup as well, let's say, right? You have such a massive pool, we're blessed that way as a cricketing nation, that we have enough players. The IPL also, one of the good things that's happened, and there's no negating it, we've been able to scout talent and we know what players to pick and choose. You disagree over there. Okay,
Totally disagree.
Hold that thought. But why can't those players who are there on the fringes or are knocking on the doors but not getting a chance to play outside, get experience, probably get to know the conditions as well, and a thing or two about, let's say, how an Alex Hales plays. Maybe take a leaf out of their book, spend time, learn about their weaknesses. We saw what happened with Shreyas Iyer. He was exposed because of the tournament. We hope he improves going forward, and I'm pretty sure he will. But then, why can't you? I'm there. I know I've got the ability, and maybe if I'm not able to make it to the Indian team, I can go overseas, get experience, and perhaps my performances there might just make a difference.
Look, if you have to really look at what has happened in this period from 2008 to 2022, we've got two players in this current. Let's look at 2022 itself. Superb IPL and have made an impact in the Indian cricket team. Arshdeep and Suryakumar Yadav. Okay, Suryakumar Yadav, out of two, okay, I've just mentioned two players out of potentially 200 players the IPL may have produced.
Okay.
This is the problem of the IPL.
But again,
supply.
You will not agree with the fact that yes, DK's performances, demanded him a place in the.
Because you do well in the Indian cricket team.
I remember because the other day as well, you weren't giving him credit for his performances in the IPL to demand a place in the playing 11 for India.
What was his performance in the Indian cricket
Agreed.
team?
But I would oppose that, and I still maintain the fact that yes, he did enough to have a place in the India 11, because again, then there's no point. Now Ravi Shastri is saying you play in the domestic leagues. You play India A, you play SMAT, you play all these domestic leagues as well. If IPL doesn't count, would those leagues make a difference and be enough, let's say, performances on these leagues for you to
there is a kind of structure in place. Okay, there is a structure.
IPL is not a part of that.
No, it is. See, Syed Mushtaq Ali is your pool, is a pond for the bigger rivulet called the IPL.
Okay.
Most of your domestic players in the Syed Mushtaq Ali get a chance in the IPL to showcase their talent.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mohammad Shah Rukh Khan is a classic case.
Yes.
Shah Rukh Khan did well for Tamil Nadu in the Syed Mushtaq Ali, and that's how he came into the franchisee level cricket, that is in the IPL.
Yeah.
But then after that,
if I'm not wrong, even Shivam Dube had a good knock or two.
Shivam Dube did well for Mumbai in the Syed Mushtaq Ali.
5 sixes that he hit.
But where is Shivam Dube today?
Yeah.
See, the problem with the IPL is that you think that is the benchmark for World Cup selection. That's wrong. You have to give the players in the IPL, if they do well in the IPL, okay, great. Over a course of 3 months, these players do well. Give them a run in the Indian cricket team for a period of time. Then determine who's good and who's bad.
But DK was given 6 months.
No. But even till the last moment, you did not know whether DK fitted in the scheme of things.
Now that
This
of course,
is the problem.
That of course is a different debate because you confused yourself with Rishabh Pant.
You didn't confuse. You did not confuse. DK did not do well in the Indian cricket team. That's the problem.
Again, see, because you knew you didn't have any batting slots in the top 5. It was all about the number 6 slot, which is what caused the confusion. Who was your alternative? You needed somebody to keep the wicket. It was only Rishabh Pant.
That's
Rishabh
the
Pant
problem.
also struggled. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
There is no negating that also. Rishabh Pant struggled all year long. He struggled in the IPL. He struggled on the international front as well.
No, but again, this is where I am saying you cannot keep the IPL as the yardstick. Simple. You have to keep the yardstick on the performances that
But-
you give for the Indian
Okay,
cricket team.
one of the things I wish I was there at that presser that happened this morning. I think one of the things I want to know from somebody like a Shastri or a Zach would be as to what is the downside of players, because again there's no question doubting the fact that there's plenty of players in India who would want to participate in T20 leagues overseas. What is the downside of letting these players play there? Forget for a second what the BCCI has to say or the strong stand that they have against T20 leagues. Let's say that permission was granted. What is the downside of players playing in domestic foreign T20 leagues?
Firstly, the downside is there's no time.
Players who can't make it to the playing 11. Players who are there on the fringes.
Once again, that exclusivity factor.
Okay.
That exclusivity factor and the brand value that is associated with being the Indian cricket scheme
So
of things.
are we being greedy here?
We are being rigid here.
Okay.
Rigid and wanting to hold on, because look, again, only very recently did we allow certain players to go in the county circuit.
Yeah.
Washington Sundar, Cheteshwar Pujara.
Pujara.
Remember when Pujara was picked in the
Gill as well. Gill also went.
Shubman Gill.
Yeah.
When he was picked in the Chennai Super Kings team, it did his chances more harm because Pujara missed out on county.
Yeah.
That is the problem. IPL, you have to pick certain groups of players and give them a long run in the Indian system. Going to foreign leagues, CPL and all these kind of things, firstly, there won't be time because all the players are either in national duties. The core that will play in 2023 or 2024 will be busy in
So
national
what's the
duties.
way out? What's the way out here? Lighter schedule, let's say.
Rotate your players smartly. Rotate your players and give them a
But
longer
then you will say,
ro-
why have you rested Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma?
See, they have been rested for this tour, which I don't know. That resting them for a T20Is made sense. Resting them for ODIs made no sense. Honestly, it did not make sense for me.
Because you would want your core to
But
also
then
play
again,
as much cricket.
Look, I think they would not want to play overseas that much also because look, most of the tournament, the Asia Cup, World Cup,
with that eye on the World Cup and that it will be in subcontinent in India. What subcontinent? Indian conditions.
Yes.
Why
do you
again?
want to play? Yes.
Yeah.
So when Australia come in February, March, they'll play 5 ODIs there. You'll play 5 ODIs
Yes, they ought
potentially with
to.
Sri
They ought to,
Lanka.
and they will. And they
Yeah. Then you've got IPL. Then you've got Asia Cup in Pakistan. All in subcontinental conditions. Why must you waste your time going to
Alien
New
conditions.
Zealand, Australia? If this tour helped, this would have helped.
Had it been prior to the World Cup,
Yes. Has. And even see,
like it did in the case of England and Pakistan.
you have rotated your players far too often. You need smart rotation on players. You need smart decision making when you have to look for domestic tours. T20 leagues and all that is just a misnomer.
Mayank Thaplyal, I read your comment there. We'll definitely take a note
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
I will not take anything of Infinite's thing.
Yeah, Infinite. Just wasting
Infinite,
his time,
you may
yeah.
be making your point now, but then abuse has no place.
Yes, yes. So
And
we're not even gonna.
unfortunately, even if you make some sensible comments now,
Yeah.
you have to first learn the etiquette of doing.
See, there has to be some decorum here.
Yes.
There's got to be a way we have this conversation. We are here every
Yeah.
evening for constructive dialogue.
Constructive dialogue,
and there
no
has
abuse.
to be a way that we go forward.
Yeah,
with
and
it.
there is a strict no tolerance, for abuse.
No tolerance for abuse.
Yeah.
Trolls can be okay, welcome, But having
Abuse.
said that, there's no space for unparliamentary language.
You're not family also
yes,
in that sense.
no
So,
room for unparliamentary language.
if you remove retired players and IPL revenue will get reduced. Players like MSD, then okay. LHM actually has nailed down that point.
Yeah. We are reading Mayank's comment?
LHM. Yeah.
So what's he saying?
If you remove retired, then IPL revenue will get reduced. So all the major stalwarts, why can't a Jasprit Bumrah deny, oh, I have to play all the games? Because their owners would want them to play.
Yes,
Club
See,
over
owners-
country. Club over country is the new normal
Yeah.
in this period. Get used to it. Because now cricket might be evolving into a Premier League style of play.
See, you are getting paid double the money than what the board gives you for playing for the country the entire year.
Absolutely.
If I'm on central contract, I'm getting paid 7 crores.
You get paid 15 crores if you play for Mumbai Indians
Exactly.
in the
40 days and I'm getting paid 15 crores plus a whole lead of advertisement, endorsements and whatnot.
Yes. So it's a very, very strange situation that we have at this point in time. So tomorrow, look,
Sahil Gurmani, Nikhil Naz is very much back. To all our family members, yes,
he will be here tomorrow.
He will be here tomorrow. He joined us in office today for a brief while.
Yep.
But yes,
He
Nikhil
will be there
Naz-
tomorrow for the first T20I that will take
Absolutely.
place at the Caketon.
Yes, and
Wellington.
we'll see if we can get you updates from
But
the ground.
actually, rain is forecast.
yeah.
But I think it will just be a delayed start.
And
After
I think
that,
we
it is-
can break this to our viewers as well. We might just be getting some on-ground reactions from our man over there as well.
Maybe, yes.
Right? We
yes,
could.
We could. So,
We could.
the situation is maybe in Wellington on the first day, the first match could be rain impacted. But apart from a delayed start, there is nothing else. So,
yes.
it all begins tomorrow and life moves on after the T20 World Cup with India taking on New Zealand. Remember, India have won in bilateral series the last 8 matches that they won.
Okay, what is
consecutively against them.
GGK saying? GGK is saying
Does
something else.
Dravid as a coach escape criticism as coach due to his nice hair? No, he didn't escape criticism at all.
See, you have to understand that the questions being asked to Rahul Dravid after that horrible match that we had against England, some of
was
those
pretty
questions
dark.
were extremely pointed and scathing.
Yes, it was.
So
no,
no
one escapes.
No one escapes. See, there is accountability. You are touted as the biggest cricketing nation. There is a lot of responsibility on the players, on the coach, on the management there, and there is no escaping.
Yes. I will end with Rahul Dravid's statement. I have no doubt. IPL has given good players, absolutely.
Yeah.
But IPL's 3-month window might be a big reason for injury concern. It is my point.
Which it is.
It is.
See, of course, it's a very taxing period, those 45-50 days.
Yeah.
It's an extremely taxing period. You know, you're in Delhi today, 2 days later, you're in Bombay,
See,
the third day you're in...
you played with injury in the IPL, but here with injury you pulled out.
yeah.
See, that's the problem now. And yeah,
And that's where money comes into the picture.
making a playing 11 for tomorrow is very, very confusing. Indeed, it is. But I think Shubman Gill might make his debut tomorrow. That's the thing that we are getting to hear.
Yes.
Shubman Gill might make his debut.
He
and
had
he
a
might
good
open
practice
with,
today,
yeah,
yes.
Ishan Kishan. He'll open with Ishan Kishan.
In all probability.
That's
In all
my
probability.
opening combination.
Yeah.
So that is how it is.
But Ishan and Pant both might play, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who
Pant
keeps
is
the-
your keeper, no?
Yes,
Because
Pant-
Sanju is only for the ODIs, if I'm not
Exactly.
mistaken.
Is Sanju not there?
I think Pant is there only for the T20Is and Sanju is there for the ODIs.
Okay.
Which is very strange considering that
Considering
Pant hit a century in his last white ball
ODI, yes.
against
England.
England. Yep.
England.
So that is the thing. And tomorrow it begins all over again. Yeah, Sobab guy, I think mostly it is right. Gill, Kishan, Shreyas, Sky, Hardik, Pant, Bhuvi, Arshdeep. It's gone. Yeah. Maybe
So,
that
yeah,
is.
who
that is-
accompanies Shubman Gill tomorrow is going to be interesting.
Rishabh will open, Naitik Parashar Singh, maybe.
Maybe, but that
I think-
experiment didn't go down too well
Yeah,
the last
it
time we
didn't.
did that. It
It
happened in
didn't.
the South Africa series, if I'm not wrong.
Why it didn't.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. And
And yes,
let's
since
see.
we
But
have
it is
now
the Caketon. There are only two stadiums, Basin Reserve and the Caketon.
Caketon, yeah.
Yeah, it was once Athletic Park, but now Caketon because it's shaped like a cake. That's why. White, yellow seats shaped like a tin. That's the reason why it's called the Caketon. I think it's there only, Basin Reserve. Sky Stadium. It's now been renamed to the Sky Stadium. Okay.
So now that we've touched upon the series and the match tomorrow, We'll be back. We'll be back with our pre-match coverage as well.
Yes.
So stay tuned. We'll be there to talk about the playing 11. Let's see what choices India goes with. It is VVS Lakshman, mind you, not Rahul Dravid accompanying the team in New Zealand for this particular series, for this particular tour. So let's see, being led by Hardik Pandya, his deputy will be Rishabh Pant. Yes, of course, he'll be keeping, he will be in the 11, whether he opens, whether he bats in the middle order, we'll have to wait and watch. For now, that's all the time we have.
That's all the time we have, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. We'll be back with more updates. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook.
Don't forget the bell as well.
Yep, we are also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for all the love. Thank you. Bye-bye.